Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia and I'm coming to you from the UK, just north of London. Today is the 11th of October 2024, which is a Friday, my day off. And yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to record a podcast today, but I decided to do a quick catch up, talk about my finished objects, works in progress, at least a couple of them. And I did want to show you some acquisitions today. So if that's not your cup of tea, I will leave that towards the end of the episode so you can just tune in and tune out as you like. Sorry, you may be able to hear my washing machine in the background, which isn't ideal, but today is the first non-rainy day in a while. And I think from tomorrow we're gonna go back to rain. So today is duvet washing day. There's nothing that can change that. Alright, so let's talk about one finished object that I have, which is this pair of socks that still needs ends cut off. They're cutting off the ends, but they are woven in. But these socks are gift socks for Christmas. Yes, I said the C word, for probably my sister-in-law. And I mentioned before that a couple of people in my family have tiny feet. I think she is a EU size 36. So these socks for me, they go so quickly because I only have to do 56 stitches rather than 64. So yeah, I used up some stash. These, funnily enough, these use exactly 50 grams of yarn. So now I know that for the size, I could probably either knit 2 pairs of socks out of one skein, or I could even use some leftovers. This yarn is German yarn from Tausendschön Wolle. This was one of their one-of-a-kind skeins from years and years ago. And yeah, they're done. I am very happy with these. These just need to be washed and blocked, and then I can gift them for Christmas. Otherwise, I only have a couple of things that I've worked on this week. One of them being my muzzle bra hat by Isolde Teague. I am over halfway now. I have knit a massive amount, maybe 3 inches since last time I showed this to you, as you can see from this marker. But I did take this as my commute knitting on Tuesday. The downside is that at the moment the trains are so busy. I tend to stand, and sometimes I knit while I'm standing, but sometimes I'm just holding on for dear life. So yeah, not ideal. This yarn is from Dina's House of Crafts, which I got at the Knitting and Stitching show last year. And if you're wondering, well, didn't you say you would be at the Knitting and Stitching show today? Yes, I did. At least I was contemplating it, but I decided against it in the end. To be honest, I think it's quite a pricey show to get in, considering I think if you're a sewist as well, it makes sense. But to only go for the yarn, I feel like there weren't that many vendors. And for me, the price of getting in, plus I think a 20 quid train journey, which it's not even far from where we are. But yeah, it was quite pricey. So I decided, because if I go there, I want to have a coffee, I want to maybe have lunch. It just wasn't worth it to me. So instead I bought some yarn. Because I did want to go to see Zakami, who I saw there last year. So I ordered some yarn from them, which I'll show you towards the end. I invested their money in yarn rather than getting to a show. So yeah, I bought this at the Knitting and Stitching show last year, and I'm really glad to be working with it. I don't know the colorway name, I'm sorry, but it's really beautiful. My first time working with this dye as yarn. And yeah, muzzle bra hat. Also, I have started a new pair of socks. I am so obsessed with socks at the moment. I think because it's really stressful at the moment, all I want to do is knit socks and muzzle bra hats. And I'm also doing the Westknits mystery knit along, which I'll tell you about in a second. But my heart is just screaming for simple projects in stockinette, and I love them so much. And I love the sock. I really, really love it. This is a recent colorway from Fab Funky Fibers. I think it's called Maggie's Jumper or Maggie's Sweater. From Fab Funky Fibers, I tend to get their 50-gram balls of self-striping yarn, which are, self-striping yarn is so expensive, which makes sense because it's crazy to create self-striping colorways. But what I tend to do is I tend to buy her 50 grams of self-striping divided by 2, and if I use contrasting cuffs and heels and possibly toes, I then can have a self-striping pair of socks for not that much money. So that's exactly what I did here, and this has just been stress knitting because on Wednesday I had such a crazy day. And yeah, I just sped through, I think from casting on to this orange stripe, including the heel, within one evening. That's how stressed out I was, and it just reminded me how much knitting can be sort of calming and therapeutic, and yeah, I love these. And because I have my mum coming over tonight for the weekend, I think I'm going to knit some more stockinette. So who knows, maybe I'll finish these by next week, who knows. But yeah, isn't it beautiful? I love it. It's such a like a retro colorway. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like brownish cuffs or pink, but I went with the pink, which is Filcolana Aweta, which is fast becoming my favorite solid sock yarn. I just love it so much. So yeah, that's one new cast on. And then the only other project I really have worked on, because I'm still ignoring all of my garments, is the Mystery Knit Along, which I will show in a second, but very briefly, let's have a discussion about the yarn first. So if you do want to look away, you can stay for now. As you may know, the yarn that I'm using, my two sort of main colors, are both Cascade 220, fingering the non-superwash color version, which I think is very, very beautiful. So this is the label. Still don't know the colorways, but I will put them on my Ravelry page. But these are my main two colors, and originally I had on sale bought a sort of very bright reddish orange mohair. Did I just lose my swatch? No, there we go. So this is just a swatch for the brioche. I think it's no secret that there will be brioche in a Westknits Mystery Knit Along. So this was the original sort of, I'm not sure if you can even see, this like bright orangey red mohair. This is what I was planning to hold with this. Then when it came to the clue number 2, I just went for a different yarn. I went for a very fluffy, thick suri, which was cream with speckles that I got in a D-stash. I don't know who dyed it. I think it may well be Zakama Yarns. And I should have swatched, but I didn't. I just started, and the rows are very, very long, and I did like 4 or 5 rows, which took me forever to realize I didn't like that yarn combination. So I ripped it all out, and then I swatched. So I swatched with the original color, which I do think looks cool, but somehow I had to throw a pink in there. So I tried a pink, and I tried both a single strand of mohair and a double strand of mohair, which is what Stephen is doing in his sample. And I love the look of the double strand. So what I'm doing is I have sort of a stash of single balls of leftover mohair. So no idea what these are, but they are both Kid Silk mohairs. And I'm just combining these two because if I use both of these held together, A, it gives a really good sort of marled look, and B, it means I'll have enough to use some more mohair later if I want to. So yeah, I have added pink. Wasn't the plan. I am still considering adding the reddish color in at some point as well. It just depends how crazy I want to go with this shawl. So do let me know what you think, but this is what we're going with. And now I will show you my clue 1 and beginnings of clue 2. So if you do want to look away, now is the time to do so. Because, ta-da! Isn't it beautiful? I really love it. So you can see clue 1, clue 2. I am, of course, doing the brioche because usually, and this time as well, Stephen provides 2 options. And usually both of them are beautiful, but for this one, I love the brioche version. And I do like brioche, so I don't care. Also, if you haven't done brioche, I think this is not a bad place to start because it's very, very straightforward. It's just simple, 2-colored, flat brioche. There are no barely any increases, no fancy techniques being used except for your basic brioche. And I love it. I love it so much. And you can see it's fluffy, but the suri was just too fluffy. It was just too much. Whereas this, I think it looks beautiful, but it also sort of blends, which is what I wanted. So I am very happy with this. And as you can see, it's very long. I think I'm basically done with the first brioche row. And so I'll go back to the bubble stitch and then another brioche section and possibly another bubble section. But yeah, I do love it. I did look at the spoilers as I usually do. And I think this is really, really gorgeous. And also, so far, this clue has been, or this year's Mystery Knit Along has been really enjoyable. Sometimes I find, I love the challenge, but sometimes some of the stitches can be a bit like fiddly or you're constantly looking at the pattern. Whereas this I can memorize and then just go, and I love it. So yeah, that is my Go Dynamo Shawl Westknits Mystery Knit Along 2024. That's basically all I've been knitting on. Like I said, it's been quite busy. I also did some spinning and I finished my Rambouillet. I can still only say it in French. I can't do like the American pronunciation of French words. But I did finish this spinning project that I teased last week. And isn't it beautiful? It's beautifully like marled, and I hope it's gonna knit up well as well. I'm not quite sure. But what I did is I did a fractal 2-ply continuous backwards draw. But I sort of did a messy fractal 2-ply. So if you don't know what that means, it means 2-ply means you're spinning 2 bobbins and then plying them together. And if you do a fractal spun, you do sort of, you'll maybe do like a long color repeat for one single, and then for the other one, you'll divide the fiber into multiple strips so that the colors change more quickly. And then as you ply them together, it makes for a nice barber poled even yarn. And that's what I did, except I didn't do it very, very stringently with the first bobbin. So I just sort of did what felt right. And I think in some points I have a bit too much of the same color and the color runs are a bit weird, but it'll be pretty nonetheless. It'll probably be a muscle per hat, to be fair. And what I wanted to show you is how this yarn, I'm not sure if you can see, it is so springy. It's crazy. I love it. It's very fluffy. I absolutely love this fiber. I got really good meterage. I didn't expect it, but I got, I think, 450 meters or 455 meters per 100 grams. But it has fluffed up a lot with washing, so I'm not sure if I still have that much. Not that it matters. I also think if I paired this with the right contrast color, this would make a beautiful color work, one of those like doodle scarves or something like that. But yeah, so I finished this, spun on my Ashford E-Spinner 3 for anyone interested. And like I said, I also did get some yarn. So what I did is I bought some yarn from Zakami. I'm not sponsored. I am spending my own money on all of this stuff. I have one skein of their yarn, which I think I got in their bargain box at Knitting and Stitching Show last year. But it's so pretty. I haven't actually dared to knit with it, which is stupid. I know, I should knit with it soon, but so far I haven't. I have just looked at it. But the other day they came out with these sort of surprise lucky dip boxes called Oh Yes, Oh No. And you couldn't, there were 2 options. I think you could either get like a sweater quantity with an extra skein, or you could get 4 different skeins. And you could sort of mention preferences, but essentially you don't know what you'll get. But I do like most of the colorways that they post. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. And I mean, these lucky dip things, they're always a bit more reasonably priced too. So I went for the 4 skein option of the Oh No, Oh Yes box. And does it say Zakami yarns anywhere? Maybe you can see it here. And what I did is I said I like fingering weight yarns, and if at all possible, please don't give me boucle, because I don't like boucle yarn. And they delivered. And I didn't even mention any color preferences, but I feel like they got me exactly what I like. And I will say, I tried photographing these and they did not turn up well on my camera, so I'm not sure how well they'll show. But it's like they knew me and put me in a package. So this is what I got, and every box will be different, so I'm not spoiling anything. I think I paid like around 60 quid for this, which I don't think is too bad. So essentially I got one skein of baby alpaca, yak, silk, and merino lace weight, so like a Suri alpaca, which is, I think, very beautiful. I really, really like this, and very much my colors. And then this one, it comes up cream, but it's definitely blush pink. Again, very much my color, and this is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere fingering weight, which, again, I wouldn't have expected this, but it's so beautiful. I think this needs to become a beautiful lace shawl. I think that's what it's destined to be. It feels so nice. This is the sort of yarn I don't usually treat myself to, and I honestly didn't expect like such a nice base in a Lucky Dip box. So this was a nice surprise. I got one skein of 100% merino, which this one is the most sort of out there with the variegation. I think it could make a fun musselburgh hat, and I am thinking about knitting musselburgh hats for the entire family. So I'll need to see if Kai wants like a crazy pooling musselburgh hat. And the last one I got is my favorite. It's coming across very brown. It definitely has like a pinkish purplish note to it. And this is their Corriedale yarn. So this is 100% Corriedale. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use this for socks, but I probably would. And this is beautiful. This is just like toothy. I love Corriedale wool. The colors are my colors, and yeah, I love it. So I think just by chance they just really got my colors right, because I was thinking, well, if they give me like a green and orange, like there are some colors, I like most colors, but this is definitely very much in my color family. And the reason why I went for 4 single skeins is that, like I said, all I want to do is knit musselburgh hats and socks and accessories, and I'm thinking about gift knits for Christmas. So having a couple of single skeins to play with, actually, I think right now is quite good. So yeah, very, very excited about that. And I don't usually share acquisitions, and I'm also trying not to buy too much. But I thought I would share that today just because. Right, we're at 17, almost 18 minutes, and we're done. I told you this would be a quick one. So very, very briefly, a live update. If you don't want to stick around for that, I will see you next week. If you do want to stick around, yeah, like I mentioned, my mum is coming over for the weekend. She'll be here tonight. So I've been cleaning and tidying a little bit, but it should be nice. My son's really excited, and I'm also hoping, because she will keep him busy and he will keep her very busy, maybe I can actually get some knitting done as well. I'm gonna take her out for a nice meal, which she doesn't know yet because it was her birthday. And otherwise, yeah, we've just been plugging along, honestly. If you don't know, my son started reception last month. So yesterday we had the first parent evening or parent consultation, which was really strange. I feel like I'm about 15 years too young to do that. Like, I feel like I'm still the student and not the teacher, not the parent. Thank goodness I'm not a teacher. No, but all of that went really well. I feel like all I do these days is phonics, which is crazy. But my son seems to love it, so that's good. I asked my son the other day, who was 4, by the way, I was like, do you think when you grow up you're going to be like knitting or crocheting? And he was like, no, which was a bit heartbreaking, but fine. But he's been asking for me to knit him things. Every time I get yarn, he wants something out of that yarn. So I think I may have to knit him some more rainbow things, because rainbow is his favorite color. Rainbow and purple. So yeah, I should do that. We'll see when that happens. Otherwise, yeah, just house life, school, work, commuting. It's just been going on all at once. But I'm hoping it'll calm down a bit soon. My son was ill last week as well. half term is coming up, which is good. I'm just rambling on about my life. I'm sorry. I used to do that on like earlier podcasts, and I feel like I completely stopped the personal talk for a while, and today it is coming back. The nice thing is that today it is the most beautiful autumn weather. Like we've had so much rain and then it's just cleared. We saw beautiful aurora lights last night, which was amazing. And then this morning I did the school drop off. It was like 1 degree. It was freezing but sunny and icy and oh, so beautiful. And you may remember when I was ill a couple of weeks ago, I was seriously doubting whether I've stopped being in love with autumn, but I can definitely say it's back. I love autumn. I was in London last week as well, and autumnal London is just so beautiful. So yeah, that's what's going on in the life. Very, very busy, but I feel like we are starting to, I don't know, get used to it a little bit, which is good because I definitely underestimated how much all the routine would just go out of the window with starting school. So yeah. All right, I'm going to let you guys go because I'm just waffling on about nothing. So thank you so much for watching today. Have a lovely weekend, and I hope wherever you are in the world that you are safe and healthy and doing well. Let me know what you're working on because you guys always inspire me to cast on more projects. Someone told me the other day that they always have 3 pairs of socks on the needles at least. And I was like, oh my god, that's such a good rule. I might just have to adopt that. So you guys are definitely always enabling me as well, which is very, very, well, good for me. Maybe not for the whip count, but who cares? All right, thank you so much for watching. Happy knitting, happy crafting, and bye.